Well, the Latin Chamber of Commerce of the United States, or CAMACOL, is the largest Hispanic business organization in Florida and works with community leaders and partners to promote the economy and strengthen local businesses. Next week, CAMACOL's Hemispheric Congress takes place right here in South Florida. Now in its 40th year, CAMACOL's flagship program unites over 30 countries throughout Latin America and Spain over 4 days of seminars and networking events, connecting local businesses to the global marketplace. Here to share more on this year's Hemispheric Congress is Chairman and City of Miami Commissioner Willy Gort. Mr. Commissioner, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
So let's talk about CAMACOL. A lot of people may have heard about it, but don't really know all that it does. So kind of give us an overview.
Sure. CAMACOL's got a lot of history. We're back in 1959 when the refugees started coming from Cuba. You have a lot of individuals there that they know how, they were entrepreneurs, they want to go into doing business. So CAMACOL had to come together in 1965. If you go back in the 60s, people didn't speak Spanish in here. So if you wanted to take a license, you want to go to the city, you want to go to the county or the state and pull a license, you had to take an interpreter. So we put the CAMACOL together. I was a kid at that time. And we came up with the translators that were able to go. Since I studied here in the United States, my father automatically, I was one of the first translators. So
you were bilingual.
Bilingual,
yeah.
So I was able to go with them, and that's what we started to really put things together. Then we had to get very much involved into lobbying, because a lot of changes that we had to be made, like for example, giving opportunity to our doctors, our attorneys, and professionals to be able to take classes and be able to take tests so they can practice their own practices they had in Cuba, and they can do it in here. That's part of the things that we did, a lot of the lobbying, and help a lot of the small businesses set themselves up, get them in contact, make sure they go through the process the way it should be so they could get the license and the permits. And that's original how it began. And then we started doing all kinds of programs and helping the citizens and get involved in the community and community work. A lot of the meetings when Tri-Rail was, before Tri-Rail, when the Metro Rail.
Metro Rail, yeah.
Metro Rail, we had to go, we were part of the meetings, we weren't all the meetings at the beginning when they were planning to do the Metro Rail. So we got very much involved with the representing the merchants of the area, small merchants. A lot of the small businesses, today they have become major corporations, national corporations. So we're very proud of that.
Had a big footprint in our community.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I know one of the things too, when I hear CAMACOL, I remember how you do those baskets every December for people in our community who don't have the means to have a wonderful holiday meal. Right. And that's one of the things that you do as well, right? Helping people in the community who are in need.
Right. Last year we provided about 3,000 baskets.
Wow.
And the basket, I think,
and they're full.
They're worth about $200.
Wow.
In food and ingredients that they need for the holidays. So
yeah.
A lot of the families look forward for that.
One of the things you told me too is CAMACOL's a connector, that you bring a lot of people together who have the same interests. Talk a little bit about that.
With the Hemispheric Congress, to go into the history of that, one of our vice presidents at that time, William Alexander and Luis Sabines, came up with the idea. William Alexander was a captain for Eastern Airlines. So his route was the Central American and Caribbean. So every time he stopped in any of the cities, he would go visit the Chamber of Commerce and talk to them. And they come out with a program which is what created the Hemispheric Congress, Sanchez to Smith. The Sanchez in Latin America gets all the Sanchez in the United States, and this Sanchez puts him in touch with Smith.
Yeah.
And what it is the United States of America is the fourth country, Hispanic country in the world. A lot of people don't realize that, with a buying power of $3 billion.
Wow.
So what this does, it gives the opportunity to small and medium-sized firms to come into the United States market, utilizing the cities like Miami, New York, Los Angeles. So it gives an opportunity to get into the United States market. The local family start traveling, and we have visitors, we bring them home, and when they come to our house, they try our food, and they realize, hey, this is something new there. And this is a lot of the customs that I have created in the United States is through this type of system. At the same time, it gives an opportunity for economic development in their country, the origin country, and then here in the United States.
So let's talk about the 40th Hemispheric Congress. What's going to be different this year, and how many different countries are you bringing together?
At this time, we have about 20-some countries that sign up. And what it is the Chamber of Commerce. They're the one that make the board of directors.
In each of those countries.
Of each of this country, the president of the Chamber of Commerce. Also, they bring additional individuals. So one of the things we want to do is matchmaking, which is a program where we ask them, what do you want to sell? What do you want to buy? So we get the counterpart here in the United States to get together with them, and then we become a conduit. We'll set up the meetings, they get together, they do the strategy, they do the work, and all we do is we become the conduit. We also have seminar, which is very important. Today we see how the market has changed. I mean, a lot of small businesses don't realize the social media that was being utilized, the new technologies that exist today to purchase, to buy, and to sell. And it's very important to maintain those small and medium-sized firms in the new developments that is taking place.
Yeah. So this event is open to the public. It's taking place at the Biltmore Hotel over 4 days. So, and anybody, if you haven't registered yet, and this sounds very interesting to you, you can get involved, correct?
You still have time to get involved, and it's going to be from June 4 to June 7th. June 4 is the opening. That's all the exhibitors. We have about 15 different exhibitors from different different industries, which they're exhibiting their products in there. Wow. So people get an opportunity to see it and to exchange.
Yeah. So, so you've got this event coming up in June. You told me that because of term limits, you're done in November, Mr. Commissioner. So yes. What's happening for you after that?
Well, I'm still going to keep very busy.
Yeah.
I've never retired. My dad passed away at 94, but he worked until he was 92. So I hope I inherit some of his genes because I want to keep working. That's what keeps me young.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And there's a new profession that I might be doing, mediation. It's something that's being used quite a bit today.
Absolutely. Well, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the latest information that came out regarding the David Beckham MLS Stadium deal that we know he wanted to put a stadium and retail and so forth at Mel Reese. You've come out and you've been opposed to it and been very vocal about your opposition, but it came out lately that they were going to donate $3 million to the First Tee program, because part of it was First Tee was, we didn't know what was going to happen with this children's program that took place at Mel Reese. It's a possibility now that it could be moved somewhere else. How do you feel about that? Are you supportive a little bit more now because First Tee might be saved?
The biggest problem is that First Tee is one of the ingredients. The biggest problem that you have, the people was not aware of what they voted for. They voted to change the amendment, make an amendment to change the city of Miami Constitution to allow a private firm to deal with the administration and come up with a lease agreement that has to be approved by the commissioners later on. They use the stadium as everybody wants a stadium. I want a stadium. I think soccer is it's a worldwide, the most popular sports in the world. So to me, soccer is no problem. The problem is the way the transaction is being done. They got the soccer, my understanding is 13 acres. Then you got one building, which is 1 million square feet of office. Then you have a hotel with 720 units. And then you have a shopping center, and you have the stadium. So if might I go into bid, it might have been somebody with a better deal, with more benefits to the city of Miami. We still have to see the contracts, what's going to happen, what they're going to offer, what's really is going to be the benefit for the city of Miami.
And that's what you're fighting for.
That's what I'm fighting for.
All right. Commissioner, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you.
Appreciate it.
And best of luck with the Hemispheric Congress.
Thank you.
And the 40th CAMACOL Hemispheric Congress takes place June the 4th through the 7th at the Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables. To learn more about CAMACOL and next week's Congress, visit camacol.org. We'll also have this information for you on our Facebook page at Your South FL.